identifying your freelance skill set. So I know a lot of you have been thinking about being a freelancer. It's one of the best ways to unlock the freedom to work from anywhere, but you don't know, what skills do I have to be able to work remotely? How do I figure out what skills I can use to make money? Well, in this video, I'm going to walk through a few steps to help you identify your skill set and also figure out how to charge people and make money as a freelancer. Okay, let's get into it. All right, so let's talk about becoming a freelancer. I actually have a video on the benefits and challenges of freelancing. A lot of people come to me and say they want to be able to work part-time or choose their hours. And most people tell me that they want to be able to work from anywhere. And I usually tell folks, freelancing is the best way to do that. Freelancing is one of the best ways to do that. I actually have a friend who teaches people how to freelance. I'm gonna put a link to her website in the description box. You can go and grab some of her content and digital courses to help you get into freelancing. She's been doing it for a long time, and she's helped over 30,000 people become freelancers, and she can help you too. Her name's Hannah Dixon, and her company's called Digital Nomad Kit, but I'll give you the link to some of her great free resources and other resources in the description box. But right now, I wanna talk about how you come up with, what's my skill set? What am I gonna sell to people? How do I set my rates and things like that, okay? So the first thing that I want you to do is really think about, what am I good at? What are some of the things, the components of my job that I'm good at, that I enjoy doing? And what a lot of people don't realize is you don't necessarily have to go out and get a whole new skill set or learn a whole new skill in order to be a freelancer. Quite frankly, some of the things that you do day to day on your job right now are things that people would be willing to pay you for. You just don't realize it. So I'm gonna give you an example of a few things. Some people build Excel spreadsheets as part of their job. Like, you just build Excel spreadsheets and you don't think anything of it. But there's a lot of people who don't know how to do that. A lot of people don't know how to build spreadsheets with formulas and making it look easy and making it easy to use and making it look good. And creating spreadsheets that will spit out data that tells a story. You do that without even thinking because it's part of your job, but a lot of people don't know how to do that. And that's something people would be willing to pay. I, as a project manager, create project plans. And sometimes I'm just creating an image or a illustrated project plan or a Gantt chart, like a one-pager slide of what a project plan looks like. I have a friend who literally paid me to do that. He literally paid me to create a one-pager in PowerPoint. He had a project plan already. He just needed to turn it into a slide, and he paid me money to do just that. So you'd be surprised at things that people are willing to pay you to do. There's a whole lot of things that I've paid people to do, things like research. This developer paid my daughter literally to copy and paste code for him. Okay, you would be surprised. So start with thinking about, what are some of the activities and the skills that I already have that someone might be willing to pay for. Another thing that you could do to figure out a skill set that you could offer to the public that you can get paid to do is pay attention to the things that people complain about. So if you follow business owners or if you're part of business Facebook groups, pay attention to the things that people are constantly complaining about, right? Because that is an indication of a need. And if you feel like you could fulfill that need, or that's something that you might be interested in, there's a skill set right there. Let me give you an example. I am in a Facebook group where a lot of people complain about having to deal with customer service, having to deal with clients and customers, inboxing them and making outrageous requests, or filing disputes on their credit cards and things like that, where now they're having to deal with the literal administrative work of addressing these customers, but B, having to be exposed to this negativity, because when it's your business, it's hard not to take some of that stuff personal, right? And so if I'm in there and I'm seeing this recurring theme, I'm thinking, you know what? Here's an opportunity for me to act as a barrier between business owners and their customers. Someone that can go and address these issues, address these disputes, credit card disputes, and I'm not the person that's going to take this personally, right? So I can respond to customers in a way that is professional and has no sense of emotion at all, and be completely straightforward with, here's the rules, here's the situation, here's what we can and cannot do, right? And so pay attention in some of these Facebook groups. Pay attention to what you see the people that you follow on Instagram or LinkedIn are talking about and complaining about as it relates to some of the challenges that they have, because therein lies an opportunity that you can potentially take advantage of. Now, the third way I'm going to tell you to identify some of the skills that you have that could be marketable as a freelancer is if you don't have any ideas, if you're sitting around thinking, what could I do? I can't really hone in on anything. Nothing's coming to mind. Another thing that you could do is go to a website like Upwork. If you head over to Upwork or Fiverr, you can start to just search through the categories that they have and see what other people are doing. And that way it can spark some creativity and some ideas for something that you could do. So if you go on to Upwork, for instance, without even logging in, you can click on the categories that they have. At the very top, they have categories like development and IT, AI services, design and creative, sales and marketing, administrative support, and then they have a more. If you click on more or click on any of these categories, it's going to take you to subcategories as well. And you'll start to see what skills people have posted on this website. That can give you some ideas for, I see other people are freelancing as community managers. Maybe that's something that I could do as well. I like community. I like interacting with people. Maybe I could be a community manager. And then you can start to click on some of those and see what other people are doing and the services that they're offering. That can help spark some creativity, okay? Now that you've identified the skills that you can become a freelancer with or that you can put out there to market yourself and your services, the next question becomes, well, what do I charge for this, right? A lot of people, one of the biggest challenges that they have is, how do I even charge for this? I don't even know what rate to set for this. And I will tell you, a lot of people really set their rates super low in the beginning, which I think is a mistake. Like, you don't have to set your rates super low. Just think about what's competitive. How do you know what's competitive? Again, you can go to sites like Upwork and Fiverr and start to look at what other people are charging for similar work. Now, you are going to see a huge range of rates because it's going to depend. Just like with a job, it's going to be dependent upon the location, right? Some people may be located in the Philippines, some people may be located in the UK, and some people may be located in South America. And all three of those are going to have very different rates. So consider, where are you located, right? The second thing that you want to consider, and you'll see a range of this, is experience. So some people have a lot of experience doing this, and so their rates are going to be a bit higher. And some people don't have as much experience, or they're just starting out, so they may set their rates lower. So that's the second thing that you want to take into account. Where am I located? And how much experience do I have here? Okay. The third thing that you want to consider is, how much do you need to make in order to sustain your life? Because if you set your rates too low, you're going to have to get a lot of clients in order to sustain your life. So you don't want to just take into account what are other people charging. Other people aren't paying your bills, friend. And so you want to sit down and say, well, how much are all of my bills and expenses? Put in a little bit in there for saving and having a good time and allowance and eating out and stuff like that. Sit down and put together your budget. How much does it take to run your life, including saving for the future? And then I'd say divide that by 2080. Divide that by 2080. That's how many full-time hours, full-time work hours there are in a year, right? So that's how you could take your salary and figure out what your hourly rate is. So take your budget and divide that by 2080. That is the least that you need to make an hour, right? In order to sustain your life, that is the very least that you need to make an hour. So a couple of components go into determining how to set your rates. One is where you're located. Another is your level of experience and skill set. 3, what other people are charging. What is the market rate, the going market rate for this? But I think the most important component is, how much does it cost to run your life? How much do you absolutely need to make? Now, I'm not saying take that number and that is your hourly rate. For sure, that's the set hourly rate. That your income could be a combination of a number of things. It could be your hourly rate. It could be sales of digital products. Could be coaching. It could be a number of things. But you know that the minimum you need to make is how much it's going to sustain you on a monthly basis, sustain you and your life on a monthly basis. So get all of those numbers, right? Look at market rates, look at what other people are paying and charging for this, and also look at how much it costs to run your life and set your rates based on that. Once you figured out, okay, what services am I providing? How much am I going to charge for these services? Then it's, well, how do I get clients, guys? Well, where am I getting clients as a freelancer? And so a couple of things that you can do is start to build an online portfolio for yourself. So a portfolio doesn't necessarily only apply to creatives. I think a lot of times when people hear portfolio, they're thinking, oh, a graphic designer's portfolio of work, or a photographer's portfolio of photos, or an artist's portfolio. Everybody can have a portfolio. As a project manager, I had a portfolio, and really it was just a one-pager of case studies of some of the projects that I am most proud of. It included the objective or the problem that we were trying to solve, how we reached it, and what the outcome was. You could create a one-pager in Canva. You could create a web page that just has that information on it. Whatever the case may be, you can build out your own portfolio. And you don't have to have had clients to do that. Think about some of the volunteer work you've done, or if you are in a creative space, or if your portfolio is about creating Excel spreadsheets, you can go and create an Excel spreadsheet to solve a problem or to provide information and include that in your portfolio. It could be links to Excel spreadsheets that you created. If it's a project manager, if you're a project manager, you could literally just create a project plan, make up a project, create a project plan for it, and showcase your ability to create detailed project plans. So you could build out a portfolio. That way, when you go to submit proposals and you go to try to get clients, you can show people your work. I'm going to tell you that that's one of the things that sets people apart. When I went to go hire the person that did my social media ads, there's plenty of people that do social media ads on Upwork and Fiverr. What set this person apart was that he had a portfolio and he had videos on his profile that walked you through case studies of some of his clients. He literally showed the back end of some of the ads that he set up. He showed the ad spend, he showed the audiences that he set up, and he showed some of the results that he got. And he talked a bit about why he got those results. That's what set him apart for me. And so you can do similar things as well. Even if it's a short video walking someone through how to use project management software, right? You're not giving away the goods because the person looking to hire you does not actually want to set up a project plan. But the fact that they can see you walking someone through that, it gives you a level of expertise and credibility, and also shows how well versed you are with this, right? So now I'm like, oh yeah, I want to work with this person because they really know what they're talking about. They know it so well that they can teach me how to do it. I don't want to do it, but they know it that well. So think about how to create your own portfolio, and you've got to be creative here, okay? Because you got to think about, well, what's going to set me apart from other people? The other thing that I would suggest doing along the lines of creating a portfolio is starting to build more of an online presence and giving yourself credibility. One of the things that I've seen people do successfully as freelancers is talk about not necessarily selling themselves, but talking about some of the things problems that they've solved, some of the scenarios that they've seen. I'm going to give you a specific example. I have a friend who's a bookkeeper. She's building a bookkeeping business, and she's been really successful at getting clients. And she doesn't go on Facebook and say, hey, I'm a bookkeeper, sign up with me. A lot of the things that she does is she'll go and share success stories. I remember her sharing about a business owner who was really having trouble understanding their cash flow. And she worked with them and helped them organize their books, organize all their taxes. And this person is now at a place where not only do they understand cash flow, but now they have business credit and are getting business credit cards because they're so well organized and they're watching their money and their business is financially healthy. You hear a story like that, you're like, oh, I need you to do that for me. I've also seen people do things like in Facebook groups, they'll share a scenario and they'll say, well, hey, did you guys see this happen in the news where, for example, let's say that Shein ripped off an artist's designs, right? So there's this trademark attorney that's in a Facebook group that I'm in. She'll go in and use that as an example to teach the other business owners in the group. She'll say, hey, here's how you avoid something like this happening to you. And now people see her as an expert. She's not selling her services. She's just being helpful. She's just sharing information and being helpful. And so now you have people saying, oh, well, she's the expert on this. And so that's another way to build your portfolio, build your online presence, and start to attract clients without even necessarily saying, hey, buy my services, right? But when you go and make proposals on sites like Upwork or Fiverr, or even look for contract positions on Indeed or LinkedIn or any other website, you want to be able to point someone to a portfolio, okay? I know a lot of folks are afraid of freelancing. There's a lot of really good reasons to lean into freelancing, but the first thing that I want to do is get you over the hurdle of thinking, I don't have a skill set, I don't know how much to charge, and I don't know how to set myself up to get clients. Hopefully I've been able to address those concerns in this video. In the meantime, please feel free to check out my video on the benefits and challenges of being a freelancer, because it's something that I think is super powerful to unlock the freedom that a lot of people are looking for in their lives. If this was at all helpful, do your girl a favor, go ahead and like the video so other people know that it was helpful, and then subscribe and turn on alerts so you get notified when I post new content. And I will see you in the next video.